गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं मवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पद आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्रेवतु महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्दिरेषु मूर्जन्തുहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुपतिष्ठितैतु व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मश्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्री कांचीकामकोटि श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामः। Okay, so today we have simple but some interesting things to learn. Padmaja, did you watch any of the live? Padmaja, can you hear me? You're on mute, so you can unmute yourself.
What you were asking?
Did you watch any of the events here, New Jersey events on YouTube?
Yes. It was so nice. Yesterday I saw. All the days it was in New Jersey only, no?
Yeah, for about 5 days, from 15th till yesterday. Okay, so we are going back to our Mundaka Upanishad. We completed up to 4, right? Yeah, we completed up to 4. Agnir Mordha Chakshishim Chandrasurjau Dishastrotre Vagvivritaschya Vedah Vayuh Prano Hridayam Vishwamasyam Padbhyam Prathivikyesha Sarvabhutantaratma. Right? So that is where we talked about fire. Agni means fire. Murdha means head. Chandra Surya means the moon and the sun. Chakshushi means the 2 eyes. Dishaha means the directions, the quarters of the sky. Shrotre means the 2 ears. Vivritaha emanated, the Vedas. Vedaha means Vedas. Cha means and. Vak, speech. Vayuhu, air. Pranaha, breath. Hridayam means heart. Vishwam is the universe. Asya, his. Padbhyam, from feet, came the earth, Prithvi. That is, Jata means originated. This Sarvepam of all Bhutanam, beings. Bhutanam means beings. Antaratma means the inner self. So fire is his head, the moon and the sun are his 2 eyes. The 4 directions are the ears. The emanated Vedas are his speech. His breath is air. The universe is his heart. And from his feet the earth originated. Verily he is the inner self of all beings. So we'll go to mantra number 5. Tasmadagnihi samidho yasya suryah somat parjanya oshadhayah Prithivyam. I think we covered this also. Yeah. Puman retah sinchati yoshitayam bahvihi prajaha purushat samprasutaha. So, in essence, this mantra says, from him comes the Agni, the heaven, whose fuel is the sun. Right? From the moon rises the clouds. Herbs grow on earth. Man casts semen into woman. And by this process, many living beings are born out of the Purusha. So ultimately, we are saying everything is coming out of the Purusha. Now, heaven is also called as, or the moon. Moon is also called as
Somana.
Dyuloka.
Dyuloka. Heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven is Dyuloka.
So through the clouds, the rain falls on the earth, and that is how all the beings are generated. So this concept of beings originated from him is getting expanded. So remember, when you are, I want to give a word of caution. When you are getting the meanings of all the mantras, some things you may feel, Arey, this is common sense. Why do you need a Mundaka Upanishad for this? Right? Some of you are learning something about moon and sky at the age of 50 or 60. This was basically given by sage Angiras to Shaunaka, who was a pupil. So imagine your child, you are sending the child to school, and the student is asking the question to the teacher. The teacher is explaining the whole crux of the cosmos, right? So some of these things may sound very primitive and common sense knowledge to you, but if you go into the depth of it, what you are learning at this age is not what is sun and what is moon, but how all of these things are connected, which most of us lack that knowledge. So tasmadrichah sama yajushi diksha yajñāश्च sa kratavo dakshināश्च संवत्सरश्च यजमानश्च लोकाः सोमो यत्र पर्वते यत्र सूर्याः तस्मादृचः साम यजूंषि दीक्षा यज्ञाश्च स क्रतवो दक्षिण सर्वे यज्ञाश्च सर्वे क्रतवो दक्षिणाश्च संवत्सरश्च यजमानश्च लोकाः सोमो यत्र पर्वते यत्र सूर्याः. Tasmat means from him. So tasmad richaha. Richaha is the rik. Does anybody know what is a rik?
Rik is a Veda, no? Rig Veda.
Rig, R-I-G is different. This is R-I-K. Rik.
Oh, okay. Is it a cycle? Stick?
No. Radha. Radha, are you there? If you're speaking, you're on mute. Yeah. So when we say Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Namaste Rudramanya Uto Deshave Namaha, that whole thing is called one rik.
One mantra.
It's a rik. So, just like you call in Devi Mahatmyam, each verse is a shloka, there are specific verses in the Vedam that are called riks.
Okay.
Mantras don't have swaras.
So,
Mantras
Rudram
don't
is
have,
basically each Rudram.
yeah, each part is a rik.
That it is a rik.
Agnimi purohitam yajnasya deva britwijam hotaram ratnadhatamam rik. Okay. So Samani means references to Samaveda. Yajumshi is the Yajurveda. Diksha means rules. Diksha means rules. So in this case, the reference is to wearing of a thread. A thread is an English word. It sounds very horrible. In North, Sonalji, do you know what it is called as? You're on mute.
Genuine.
What is the other name? It's also called as Maunji. The whole Upanayana, the process of getting initiated into wearing this sacred thread, is called Maunji Dharana. It has got nothing to do with that thread. It is because of the boys have got a string of grass tied to their waist. Maunji means grass. So Maunji Dharana. Okay. So Maunji, and the rules are the rules imposed upon the performer of a sacrifice. Now see how slowly each word is getting introduced, which we think we know, but we need to understand it much deeper. So the person who is wearing the Maunji will have to perform sacrifices. Sacrifices not just in terms of the rituals, but also the way of living, means of living. Okay. Sarve means all. Yajnaha cha, the sacrifice. So there are two things that I will tell you. In terms of this whole karma, dharma, and yajna, I will focus on that in one of the class in detail. If you are interested, I will see how many of you are raising your hand that I would like to know it. Then I will go into the depth of that in one of the class. And when I say depth, I am keeping it really at the surface. So it's not literally juicing down everything. I'm just keeping it at a level where you are able to connect the dots. You're not getting overwhelmed with information, but at the same time, you understand that you don't know the real meaning of it, which is why you're all lost. So with the awareness, it should show more interest and say, okay, let us drill down on this and learn more about it. Kratavaha is sacrifices which require a yupa. Yupa is a sacrificial post. Dakshina and rewards. Rewards means given the money that you pay to the priest, Vadyars, Pandit. Samvatsaraha, the year. Huh?
Diksha yajnascha sarve kratavo dakshinascha. So Diksha is rules, you told.
Rules. Rules of the sacrifices. That's what I said. Yajna is not just the homam. Yajna means any sacrifice. For example, now we do Laksha Chandi, right? Everybody sacrificed their quality time, family time, either did volunteering work or sat down and chanted Devi Mahatmyam for hours, or somebody meditated, somebody did 1 lakh mantra japam. They're all sacrifices. So collectively, it is called a yajna. you give up something of your routine life or your desires and everything, and then you perform something with a goal, right? Clear?
But and survey is coming under what?
Survey means all.
All.
Mhm. Sarvam, everything.
Yeah, all of what? But
All the sacrifices. Yajnascha sarve means all the sacrifices, including kratavo. Means kratavo is a sacrifice which requires a yupa. So I didn't want to go into the details of the yupa, otherwise I'll scare some people off. But since you asked, I will just touch upon that. In today's modern day version of Homa that you see, there are many things that you don't see. When you do samashti Homa, etc., the way it is done is slightly different than when purely there are homas that continue to happen in private by experts who understand what is being done, why it is being done. In yajna, there are many, many levels of yajna. Especially, you must have heard of something called Vajapeya Homa, Vajapeya Yajna, right? Soma Yajna. These are all done with specific reasons. The ingredients that are done, the way the fire is lit. The Vajapeya Yajna consists of a procedure in the beginning where they will take about one small karandi or ladle of ghee, just this much. And when they pour into the fire, it will create a fire cloud like virtually a nuclear cloud. So people will say, why you do such crazy things? Simple layman's answer is, you are in this planet Earth. Now, at least you have understood there are many things that are happening around you. You are only a small byproduct of the whole process. Correct? Imagine the cosmos whose size you don't know. Something got created from that, something got created from that, something got created, something, 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 something. Finally, you ended up as a two-legged person in the feet in the planet Earth, which is born of the feet of the Purusha. So imagine the Garbha, imagine the hands, head of the cosmos. All of these things are interacting. You are under the cycle of that cosmos. You're not in isolation somewhere insulated. So we continuously see the planet Earth being attacked by the environment. There are meteorites. I forget the name of the starts with this. Okay, blanking out. So they attack the planet Earth. There are impurities that are coming in from all directions that are targeting the planet Earth. So your atmosphere, which is what is protecting the Earth, cannot guarantee protection from everything. Right? It changes the composition of your air around you. You are just breathing normally. Have you ever bothered to see the quality of air where you are? If you are in India, what is the quality? If you are in a rural village, what is the quality? If you are in US, what is the quality? If you are in a metropolitan city, you don't care because you continue to breathe. You're so busy. So who will take care of this whole cosmos? Starting with planet Earth. That is the job of all these pundits. They do all the crazy things as per the people, especially the PETA people or the other social activists. Oh, it's a gross waste of milk, gross waste of ghee. You could have fed so many thousand people. But if they stop doing what they're doing, all of us also will be starving. So, in principle, the purpose of Homa is also to put those dravyas and create that vapor into the atmosphere that maintains the balance, ecological balance, that is required for us to live a very clean life. It's the shortest definition of Homa I can give you. Clear? And I will give you one data point. If you think that I'm just giving you some hyped up news from scriptures, Do you know what is impacting planet Earth today? The latest discovery? Climate change, global warming is all now very old. We all know that we pump water from the earth for irrigation, farming. Required, no? Otherwise, how will we eat? So, just in the last 10 years, one decade of observation, because of this pumping of groundwater on planet Earth, the Earth's axis has moved by 31.5 inches. Means it is already tilted. Now it is furthermore tilted. So you'll say, okay, so what is the problem? If it is tilted, it is tilted. I am anyway, my life is going on. Now, if it continues to tilt, it will upset the levels of all the oceans. So this 10 years, because of this tilt, the oceans have risen in height. The entire ocean, imagine all the oceans on planet Earth, has risen by 0.25 inches. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you can't just live in La La Land. My life is going on. I'm watching TV. The serials are all happening every day at the same time. We have to protect the environment. We have to take care of the system because the Lord has created the system and said, okay, enjoy your life, but maintain it. Help me maintain. He wants gardeners. So we are performing many of these things to do that, fulfill that responsibility. So UPA is a post which again has got scientific meanings. There are three sections. Some say it is the 9 sections. Some say it is broadly divided into 3 sections. And if you are interested, I can go into that depth some other time. It is a post to which the animal is tied for the animal sacrifice. See, moment I said animal sacrifice, Sonal, how can we hurt that human beings? If it was so bad, God would not have created carnivorous animals, no? And if they don't eat the other animals, the population will explode. You don't have so much space on planet Earth. So the ecological system is created with a reason. But don't feel bad. If you're talking of animal sacrifices in those days, the people who were performing the yajna had the capability to bring that animal back to life, which is why that practice was there. Since in Kali Yuga, we are also doing job and doing part-time Veda. We are not as powerful. So the practice is stopped and we are following a Pratinidhi concept. Okay. Lokaha means the worlds. Yatra means which. Soma means moon. Pavate means purifies. Surya means sun. So the crux of this mantra is from him have originated the Rig, the Sama, the Yajur. Primarily, those are the three Vedas that were considered. So these three Vedas originated from him. The Diksha, the rules, and all the sacrifices of the Homa, etc. The Kratus and gifts, which means the actual Yajna, and the Dakshina. Gifts means Dakshina. The year, the sacrificer, and all the worlds which the sun and moon purify, all came from him. That is the meaning. So as you can see, every mantra, every alternate mantra is being drilled upon that he is the ultimate self. That's the true reality. What we see is not real. It's all Maya. It's illusion. So you apply all the things that you learned so far from Nirguna Brahman to Ishvara to Hiranyagarbha to Virat to Jiva things will fall in place automatically. Okay. The next mantra is Tasmacha Deva Bahudha Samprasutaha Sadhya Manushyaha Pashava Vayamsi Pranapanau Vrihiyau Tapascha Shraddha Satyam Brahmacharye Vidhishcha Brahmacharye Vidhishcha. Tasmat means from him. Devaha means the devas. Bahudha means various orders. There are different devas that are created for various purposes, right? So if you go into the classification, it will take another 2-3 years to just learn what are the devas, why it was created, because there are 33,000 crore devas. So each, there is a reason why we call. So they are highly classified as Vasus, Rudras, etc. Right? Samprasutaha are born. Samprasutaha means are born. Sadhyaha, the sadhyas, a group of devas. Sadhyas means a group of devas. Manushyaha, men. Pashavaha is reference to beasts or animals, beasts. Vayamsi is birds. Samprasutaha, as I said, is born. Pranaha, reference to prana. Apanaha, I've talked about this. Prana, Pana, Vyana, Udana, Samana are all the various prana vayu. Prana is a big thing. Don't confuse the terms just because they sound similar. Prana is the basic energy that drives us, keeps us alive. Correct? Under that, there are prana vayu, apana vayu, udana vayu, samana vayu, etc. I will talk about it today a little bit, just slightly expanding on that and where you can find them, so that you are able to connect it. Vrihi is paddy. Paddy means corns and other things that we grow. Barley. Yava is barley. So Vrihi Yav. Yavav. Vrihi Yavav means Vrihi is paddy. Yavav is barley. Tapaha is religious austerities. Shraddha is faith. Satyam is truth. Brahmacharyam, vow of continency. Vidhihi is injunctions. So the summary of this is, from him are born the devas of various groups as well as the sadhyas, men. Men means it includes all human beings, not just men means boys. Beasts, birds, the prana, the apana, the paddy, barley, austerities, faith, truth, including the rules, vow of continency, and injunctions. So, as I said, apana is one of the 5 vital forces in the body, which works downwards from the nabhi to the anus. That part of the body is driven by apana. The 5 vital forces are prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. So far, so good. So let us go to a little bit of the details of some of these things.
Just one. Brahmacharya, what you told? Bhava?
I'm coming to that. Brahmacharyam vidhischa, vow of continency. Continency means bound by rules, stringent rules and austerities. So I will come to slightly expanding on that. So let us start. Since you asked that question, let us start with that. In the previous mantra, we talked about Maunji. Correct? Maunji is also called as Upanayan. Maunji Dharanam, that the ceremony is called as Upanayanam. Anybody knows the meaning of Upanayanam?
Giving of mantra.
Upa means near.
Near.
Nayan means
Eyes.
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 It is a step or a ritual by which the child goes or gets close to the eyes of the teacher. In this case, the teacher is the guru. Who is the teacher? The teacher is the one who gives Gayatri Mantropadesha. So, Upanayanam also has another meaning called Antara Chakshu. Antara means inner, Chakshu means, in this case, not eyes but vision. So, the rite which facilitates the development of inner vision is called Upanayan. So when the boy gets into wearing the thread, the boy gets bound by restrictions of vowed religious observances, which are vrat. So it's also called vrata bandha. Bandham means bindings, rules, bondings. Vrata bandha. And it starts with norms of righteousness or dharma and celibacy. So before the wearing of thread, the child does not have any restriction. The child is free to do anything. Once the thread is worn, brahmacharyam also means that the human will not be involved in any kind of sexual intercourse. It is very essential. And it's very essential in today's world where these words are a taboo and parents don't engage the children with these conversations. So you will be appalled to hear at the amount of premarital sex that is involved these days, because we have made it a taboo not to discuss. If you discuss, the child will get spoiled. Data proves that because we are not discussing it, the child is already spoiled. So these are very normal, good scientific things that are our way of life. And if we believe in spirituality, if we believe in all these things, then we need to sit and explain it to our future generations what it is, how the system works, and why it is so. Because to them, it is very confusing. You're saying this, you're saying that, you're saying 1,000 things. I don't know why, what, how. And if you are not able to explain even the basics, they're not going to take interest and they're not going to believe in anything or follow anything. And all of these things will be gone. So Maunji Dharana is because of the grass that is being tied around the waist. That is why it's called Maunji Dharana. So here you will learn something new probably. And if you do learn something new, please raise your hand and say, yes, today I learned something new. And this is not controversial. This is all with facts. So, by default, every human being is born a Shudra. Shudra means the human being will know how to bathe, how to pass urine, how to pass stools, and clean. That's it. It's physical. However, when you start performing karma, to which you get the rights only after the wearing of thread, the ceremony Upanayana, through the process of Upanayana, the child is called a Dvija. Any idea what a Dvija means?
Firstborn.
Correct. Dvi means two. Ja is Janma. Janam. That is why it is called born. So Dvija. The second birth is with a vow of celibacy or brahmachari. And you wear it by putting the thread on. When during the second birth, who is the mother?
Gayatri Mata.
Huh?
Gayatri Mata?
Correct. Savitri. The Acharya teacher is his father. Because the Acharya is giving the Mantravadesha. Once he is born twice, he is worthy of chanting the Gayatri Mantra and can do spiritual practice. So, Upanayana is the process by which.
Son, no?
Huh? Sorry?
Savitri is name of son.
Savitri?
Savitri.
Ah.
It is a name of son or
Savitri is the mother. Gayatri.
mother.
Mata,
But
huh?
no. When you say Savita, the son not related then and my Kekarenan.
Savitri is goddess Savitri.
Okay. But any relation with son?
S-O-N,
Any
S-U-N.
relation with Sri Devata?
S-U-N, S-O-N.
S-U-N.
Ah, absolutely. Find out what is the closest relation. I was getting confused. S-O-N. That's why I was not able to understand your question. Of course, it is S-U-N. Simple exercise. Good. So, according to Grishya Sutra, this is supposed to be performed in a Brahmin child, which is of the priest category, at the age of 8. In Kshatriyas, the community of people that represent the warrior community, they are supposed to have the thread ceremony at the age of 11. And in Vaishyas, which is so badly tarnished term, Vaishya means people think it is prostitute. That is absolutely a very bad publicity. Vaishya means businessmen, those who are engaged in trade and commerce. They are supposed to wear it in the 12th year. So thread ceremony is important for all the three varnas. The rituals, the capability to perform the rituals is all there for all the three varnas. So here, the assumption is Vratavandha, the minimal requirement of the sattva component is 30%. Okay? And the determination is for each of the varna, the Brahmin varna, the sattva component at birth is 25%. And it attains 30% at the age of 8. That is how the calculation is when they are qualified to do the thread ceremony. For Kshatriya, the sattva component is 23% at birth. Hence, they take 3 more years to attain 30%. For the Vaishyas, at birth it is only 20%, and they take 12 more years to achieve 30%. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? For Shudras, the sattva component is only 19% at birth. And it takes 17 years for them to attain 30%. Now, either you can say Vedam is biased, or you can say Sampradayam that followed at various era customs kept changing the rules. By 17, boys were getting married at that time. So, what requirement is broken with marriage? I've been giving you continuously for the last 20 minutes certain key important definitions and requirement. So, if I make a statement at 17, the boy was getting married at that time, what is the requirement that gets broken?
Brahmacharya is broken.
Perfect. Answer is very simple. So there's no point in saying that the person is going to be sent to Gurukul, because the person cannot be with the Guru in Gurukul. He has to be with his wife, and vice versa. I use the term vice versa in a very subtle way. If you observed it, good. You will have questions. If you didn't observe it, then you may miss the question. Got it?
Gurukul, I don't think so. The girls were sent.
Thank you so much. Now, because I highlighted it, you caught it. Otherwise, you would have missed it. So we'll come to that.
But telling vice versa, but then
We'll come to that. So are you learning something new? And these are important things, because
actually now we told.
when we started some event here, I don't want to go into the names and put people's name out there. The Pradhana Acharya, immediately put a thread around the man during Sankalpa. The family was a non-Brahmin. Immediately everybody said, oh, how can he put a thread around? The Pradhana Acharya was highly educated. So who got exposed? All those people that are roaming around saying that I am a Brahmin family got exposed because you didn't have the knowledge that you were supposed to have, which gives you the right to say you're a Brahmin. Correct? You are the custodian of intellectual properties, right? Then you should have known all these things. Whatever I'm teaching today is something that you should have known. It's important that you know, because that is the rule by which you're living your life. Then you better understand the rules and what happened, and why certain things stopped, etc., etc. Okay? Now coming to the girls' right to Upanayana. In the ancient time, there was a practice of performing Upanayanam to the girls as well. If somebody wants to know pramanam or proof, write down. It's called Kurma Puran. The reference is Purakalpehi Narinam. Narinam means girls. Maunji bandhana miritam. That means in ancient times, kalpa means ancient times, thread ceremony for women was recommended. So who would impart the knowledge to the girl? The girl cannot be sent to a gurukul or school, right? With the acharya. So the job of imparting knowledge came upon the father first. If the girl didn't have a father, the paternal uncle. If the paternal uncle also is not there, then brother. Whereas other than these people, other men were prohibited from doing this imparting of knowledge. That is to protect the child, the girl child. So vice versa, just because the girl needs to be protected doesn't mean that she is losing her right for all these things, getting knowledge or wearing the thread, etc. Learn something new? So the other rule of brahmacharyam is also bhiksha vandanam. If you are focused on intellectual property and expertise, you don't go around saying I'm busy at work, so I can't learn Vedam. All the Brahmins have lost learning Vedam or even the significance of it because they are busy doing a Vaishya's job. But in principle, they want all the social benefits of a Brahmin, right? So in this case, for the girl, the Bhiksha Vandanam happens in the household itself. She doesn't go out. And the thread ceremony was performed without a mantra. So during Manu's time, when Manusmriti was written, is when this practice started declining. And slowly it got stopped. So there are many things that you will see in scriptures where goddesses chant Vedam, etc., etc. But today you see, oh, you are not supposed to chant this, you are not supposed to do this. It's basically the pramanam is it is more of a customary practice that got stopped. So I've given a hint. You can now extrapolate and apply the rules for all the other things that people talk about. Brahmins should do this or should not do this, etc., etc. I won't go into the detail of that. Okay. So we are clear about brahmacharyam, maunji, maunji dharanam, upanayanam, etc., etc., etc. Correct? Now, let's go into just the five pranas. So, prana vayu is in the area of the body is chest and head. Here, Sonalji. Prana vayu is governs the intake, inspiration, movement, forward movement, etc. That the ability that we are able to walk is all governed by prana vayu, which is governing this area of the body. Apana vayu governs the pelvic area of the body. What happens in the pelvic area? You're on mute. Both of you are on mute.
Evacuation of waste materials.
Correct. Spot on. So governs the elimination process, downward and outward movement. Samana is governing the Nabhi area. What happens in the Nabhi area?
Digestion.
Correct. So in a word, assimilation. Digestion is a process by which you break down the things that you eat. and you assimilate what you need into your bloodstream before excreting what is waste. That whole process is controlled by samana. Udana governs the throat area. Throat. What does it do?
Takes away the life force.
No, basically it governs growth.
But it is a life force, sir.
Life force, yeah, governs growth. It governs speech, expression, anything upward movement. So growth is also because of upward movement. That is how you keep growing taller and taller and taller. Vyana is governing the entire body. So it governs the circulation on all levels, expansiveness, and most importantly, pervasiveness. Because that energy has to reach every cell of the body. So all pervasive. Yeah. Was this informative?
Prana, apana, udana, samana.
Prana, Vyana.
Vyana circulation.
So I will stop with this.
Okay.
Anybody is
So
interested?
Vyana is also pervasive, no?
Sorry?
Vyana
Vyana is the whole
also
body.
pervading.
Again, prana is chest and head for forward movement, and all inhalation, inspiration, breathing, etc. etc. Apana is pelvic for all outward, inward opposite outward. Waste products are excreted outside. Samana is the nabhi area, which is for absorption, assimilation, consolidation, etc. That means anything that you eat goes there. The samana vayu helps you assimilate the stuff that you need to keep you alive. Udana, throat, is for speech, expression, and upward movement, ascension, which is growth. Vyana is a whole body where they ensure that all the energy is, vital force is reaching every cell of the body. Do you think anywhere you talk to any doctors, they can explain it in this level of detail? So no biology book, no medicine book will teach you this. So when people say you just keep on saying something, it doesn't make any sense. No, we are talking the real sense. So when I talked about before death, you say pranam pedite, pran chudiya. That means that is the last one to shut down. Prior to that, each of these systems shut down one by one, one by one. So I will stop with this. If interested, then I will go into the yajna part of it a little bit more details. I wanted to cover a little bit about just at the high level, the classification of the philosophies, because you are learning one. I already told you about the lot of what I'm teaching you here is based on the Sankhya school of philosophy, right? So within the philosophies, we talked about Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtha Advaita, etc. There are some more also which are not so popular. I just want to mention that those are the schools of philosophies that existed, out of which some are now already not so popular. I will talk about it in the next class. So at least when questions are asked, you are able to answer those questions from friends, relatives, or children and say that, listen, we know what we're talking about. It is a lot for us to learn, so we didn't learn everything, but at least we know what we're talking about. Okay? Super. If there are any more questions, I'm hanging in here. Otherwise, we can sign off. Again, sorry to keep you waiting today
Yeah.
for 15 minutes.
Sorry, I think you asked something, but I couldn't respond to it immediately. I got cut off for a brief time. Just wanted to tell you that whatever you have been telling in the last two sessions, no, it so happened that yesterday I was going through Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, and in that 5th verse talks of the same thing. That earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, reason, and also ego, these constitute my nature divided into 8 parts. I just thought, it is coming in Bhagavad Gita, and it was relating to what you have been telling in the last two sessions.
Correct.
And it says the same, that I am there in everything, and through me you can see every. If you get some time, maybe others also. Chapter 7, 5th verse. If people are interested, you may go through 5, 6, 7, 8. So they all exactly the same meaning is said once again, or I should say it has been told in a different way, but means the same. So just wanted to say that. And I think the questions you asked me was, what is Rik, and it is any verse which is in praise of deities. So it is also mantra, which forms part of, it is part and parcel of Rig Veda. But Rig actually means to say something, invoke gods through praise or
praise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rudram is all about the praise of God.
Yeah. Sorry, I got cut off. I had to get down somewhere. I was traveling, but I was listening to you. But when I was to answer, it was on, or I don't know what it was, but I couldn't respond immediately. I got cut off for a few minutes. Sorry.
No problem. You did justice to the question.
Yeah, sorry. And yeah.
So was this informative?
I've been doing some other sessions. It so happens that I don't know whether it is my fortune or what it is, but everything connected to this keeps coming to me in different ways. So I've been going to a few of the Shankaracharya's classes, and in that again it comes in a different way, Nirvanashtakam and things like that. So I just wanted to tell that, right?
Yeah, that is the precise reason for my last sentence before I wrapped up. I just want to at least touch upon the various schools of philosophies, because not all the schools of philosophies agree.
Yeah.
As I said, even within the three schools that is more popular, Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, there are differences. But they all come under the Astika school of philosophy. Astika means the foundation of now philosophy. Schools of philosophies are categorized for pure understanding. There is nothing like Brown University, Rice University, Columbia University. There's no name. This is the grouping for the sake of the society to understand things and function. Okay. So Astika means all those philosophies that believe in existence of God. There is a whole heterodox school of philosophy, which is Nastika. They don't believe in God. So when you don't believe in God, there's no question of duality and non-duality. Got it? So even within our own philosophical schools, there will be differences. So if somebody says, no, what you're saying is wrong, you can say, yeah, probably both of us are right. You're also right and I'm also right. Best way to get out of the argument. And the reason I chose one is, at least you know one system. Instead of saying, I will either learn everything or I will learn nothing, at least you will know one system. Okay? Thank you again. See you in the next class. Yeah. And Sonalji, if you have questions and very urgent questions, you can